So Sandy Brondello is the former coach of the New York Liberty, who is the current coach of the Toronto Tempo. Obviously, she's someone that was very much expected to be coaching the Dallas Wings. Everyone thought she was going to be coaching Dallas Wings, coaching Paige Bueckers, and apparently, she turned down more money, and from what I've been reading, I think she turned down the most money. As in, she turned down the most money a WNBA coach has ever been paid to not coach the Dallas Wings. To not coach Paige Bueckers. And I get it. The organization is a big factor as well. But like, I'm sorry. Like, money talks, and also like, look, there are bad organizations where you're like, you know what? Yeah, this may not be the greatest organization in the world, but like, we're gonna win. And it's rare you see someone turn down a job like that, to coach an expansion team where, look, you're not gonna win. This isn't the Vox. You don't. First of all, you don't benefit from a real expansion draft because everyone's a free agent. And the big thing when I say a real expansion draft is that you don't benefit from being a smart organization in a league of dumb organizations because like everybody's a free agent. So teams are going to protect all their players. And it says here she will make at least $1 million in Toronto after rejecting offers from the Dallas Wings and the Seattle Storm. Sandy Brondello turned down more money from the Wings and Storm to coach. She'll still be the highest paid coach in the W, and obviously would have been probably the highest paid coach in the W. And that's a kind of mad one. That is a kind of mad one. Like, motion not detected. I mean, the Indiana Fever are a poverty franchise. Like, I cannot stress that enough. Like she turned down 1 mil to coach Paige. She turned down 1 mil. Like that, or sorry, more than 1 mil. Like that's kind of crazy. That is really crazy because that is money that's serious money. And we're looking now at Sandy Brondello, who turned it down and had the opportunity to coach Paige Bueckers. And would she have been the right coach for Paige? I don't know. I really don't. And maybe she's thinking about that being like, look, there's no pressure on you to coach the Toronto Tempo. Like, you're at an expansion team. You've got 3 years. Realistically. You've got 3 years to get good. And if your deal is, say, a 1 mil for 3 years, like, they're realistically, no expansion team is going to fire their coach for being bad in their first year. Like, I understand Natalie Nakase did it, but again, they benefited from the fact that teams like the Fever were dumbasses and let Temi go instead of Dantas. Like, it's one of those things where the Dallas Wings were dumbasses protecting Tiara McCowan instead of Carla Leight. The Atlanta Dream decided they just weren't going to protect Ileana Rupert because they just assumed Ileana Rupert was never going to come over. The Suns, whatever, or the Mercury Mobilings, it is what it is. The Connecticut Sun, Steph White underutilized Veronica Burton so much that they deemed Veronica Burton surplus to requirements, basically. They thought Ono was better than Veronica Burton, who, in my opinion, was robbed of an All-WNBA spot last year. So we have to look at things from that perspective. Like, we are watching right here a coach make a choice that I'm in shock about the choice, if we're being completely honest. I'm in shock that this has happened. But like, hope her team makes the playoffs next season. They won't. They absolutely won't. But we have seen her turn down the Dallas Wings. And this is one of those jobs that I think a lot of people thought that the Wings was this like comparable job to last year's Fever team. And like, in fairness, last year's Fever team were so good because with Steph White, they just stopped running anything. They stopped running anything Steph White wanted to run. She pulled the Jesse Marsh. When shit hit the fan, Jesse Marsh with Leeds decided to not run his system. And then the next season, when he had time to implement his system, we got relegated. Like, it's one of those things, but it is still an interesting thing with the Wings. As you would think having the opportunity to coach Malonga or coach Paige would absolutely be a more lucrative job than this. Clearly not. But yeah, it's a really interesting one there. And I wonder how much the Wings offered. I'm surprised the Tempo didn't just try to blow them out of the water money-wise. And I think that look, I think that she'll do well. I think that it's going to be an interesting one anyway to see what the Toronto Tempo are going to do, what they're going to get in the expansion draft. My assumption is that the extension is going to allow the expansion draft to happen. And I wouldn't be surprised if the UFA that the Toronto Tempo choose is Bridget Carleton from Minnesota. There's no point. Like, if you're Minnesota, realistically, you're not going to go and protect Carleton, because if the Toronto Tempo want to sign her and core her, there's nothing you can do about it. You're not giving her a max contract. So I would assume Bridget Carleton's probably going to be available for the Tempo to take, unless of course they let Anastasia Kosu walk, and I don't see them doing that. Her contract is just too. Those 2025 rookies are just too. Those grandfather contracts are just like, it's like freaking rent control for teams. Like, you've got these unbelievable contracts. The Fever did a great. I'm so happy the Indiana Fever, just traded their pick for a year rental of Sophie Cunningham. They're not going to keep her even after she hooped. But anyway, yeah, that is pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you guys agree? Do you guys disagree? And as always, thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.